Hello everyone, Easy22X here. We are on round 2 of the Swiss for the PokePod 2 Cup tournament. Uh, Luckily enough, like I said, my next opponent is not a Kyogre team, and I'm a little bit relieved. This is actually a Lugia team. And the thing with the Lugia is that I actually need to find whether or not it's an AV Lugia, it's a weakness policy Lugia, and that's actually really important. Game 1, I had to get as much information as I could because I needed to know how much damage I could go. So, given what they had Stakataka, Whimsicott, Cortana, Raichu, Moltres, and Lugia. They didn't bring the Moltres ever, and I think that was very smart given I have Lapras. Charizard eats 3 of their Pokemons, and that's probably a support Raichu, so Raichu wouldn't really KO my Charizard. And then Lugia and Moltres are the only threats for my Venusaur. And given that, I do respect the fact that they started they started with Lugia, but I also had my weakness policy Lapras in the back. Lapras probably will KO unless it was AB, but that's why we also had our Groudon. And to be quite honest, I was a little concerned. I did expect them to bring Lugia. I expected them to bring Raichu potentially for the fake out. I didn't think they will bring Whimsicott, to be honest. Given that they could, like, if Raichu had Nuzzle and annoying stuff like that, they could probably deal with a lot of my Pokemons. But they did. I'm bringing it. And then Cortana, I think they will also bring it mainly to deal with both Groudon and Lapras. Stakataka, I don't think they will have brought it unless they see me doing a TR. Which actually, fun fact, is the fact that I actually do TR them in game 2. But yeah, a lot of thinking about this team. I do think I had a pretty decent matchup against them. But the first thing I wanted to do is, no reason not to do Venusaur. I wanted to know if they had Taunt or something to stop sleeps, but I'm not a sleep Venusaur. This is actually one of my biggest regrets too. I only started sleep powdering around. But I realized that if I actually gone with the sleep stuff, they would have never had anything to it. That's another thing about this team. But yeah, they start Whimsicott, Whimsicott Lugia, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna kill the Whimsicott. And that's probably my biggest regret in this game. The fact that we learned that Lugia is weakness policy is so bad. Because we actually proc it. I do think that I didn't need Groudon. I probably could just start Venu and lock into Precipice Blades actually. But we proc the weakness policy, and that's pretty much game 1 for them. That's one of the things I learned about this Lugia is that it's very, very bulky. But if I don't proc their weakness policy, they're kind of useless. So it's very, very unfortunate that the Rock Slide actually doesn't hit it. It does so little damage that I was so sad. But yeah, I wanted to get rid of Whimsicott because 1, it could protect. 2, maybe they will tell. I wanted to take the speed control out of them. Also, just to see if they were Sash or not. But yeah, they also Dynamax their Lugia, and it makes sense. If I was them, there was no reason not to Dynamax Lugia, especially because they could just max their Stream my Venusaur, potentially KO it one turn or the next turn. And then, like I said, Groudon's kind of useless at the moment. I found Groudon to be a better use on game 3 out of the 3 games we ended up fighting them. So Whimsicott does have Taunt. I did forget about that, so I couldn't slept it if I wanted to. And then we maxed the Whimsicott, and we learned that it doesn't have Sash. So this is the second important thing, is that they have 3 Pokemons that could have Sash. Whimsicott, Raichu, or Cortana. So learning that Whimsicott is probably not... the fact that Whimsicott is not Sash is actually really annoying because I would prefer it, but high chance was probably Whimsicott was a Coba Berry Whimsicott. And then here we see the weakness policy, which sucks because see how little damage so little damage did that Lugia did to us. I mean, we are an AV Veno too, but it is a big regret. And to be honest, I could have just bro something else. So they start Raichu next. And I'm just like, I don't agree with my play. I think in this case, I should actually have gone with Vines, but I think I was just gonna die. So I wanted to fish for the fake out in case. One of the things that my opponent play was that they didn't always like go for the fake out. It was kind of weird. So I didn't try risking reading their fake outs a few times, but I was just like, I don't want to bring Sableye because my Sash dies. Lugia should potentially KO me. I think it's still faster. I mean, no, I think I still outspeed it potentially. So Raichu does go for the fake out, which is absolutely fine. That's why we win with Max Quake. Oh no, so Lugia is faster now. And then I think this KOs Venusaur. Yeah. And so if I hadn't proc the weakness policy, Venusaur would have survived another turn. And we would have KO'd that. But at this point is they have the game. And here I just need to find out what I can do damage wise on my opponent. See like what else I can do. And it's not looking good, to be quite honest. But I did want to know what like they had in the back. There's the Lugia is gonna be the fastest thing in it, and the most I can do is like quash it, full play. So I quash the Lugia, and then I just go back for a Rock Slide. I don't think that was my best play, but it was the only play I could think of at the moment. Sableye just had to like be my little quashy. So a better start probably will have been Venusaur Sableye. And here's the tech. It's actually really, really cool that they have Grass Knot. And this Raichu's thick. Like, so I couldn't tell if this Raichu had the Sash yet because of, like, the damage didn't find us not. But I could infer that it probably wasn't Sash. Because it's, like, a thick Raichu. And this is a misplay I do here. I should have quashed the Raichu and then Rock Slide. But did I quash the Raichu? Yeah, no, Lugia protects here. And I don't know if I agree with the protect. There was no reason to. Raichu was gonna kill me. So I should have quashed the Raichu and like just hit it, reading the protect. But I don't know. I didn't think they were going to protect. So they go for a bow switch into my Sableye, actually. And again, a little weird. I don't agree with that play. They had the speed control. They had everything. So I think they could just have gotten a double KO instead. And then now bring the Kartana. So I think this is a misplay of my opponent. Because I do find out that Kartana is the one that they have Sash on because of this play. Or maybe I found out in the game before. I actually forgot, but I don't get why they had to like do what they did to my Sableye. But I also couldn't risk the other way. So I'm locking into Rock Slide, and I think it's pretty obvious. And I think it's pretty obvious that this is game over, but I'm just gonna protect, see what they do, and then I just Rock Slide again. But like I said, Lugia has the speed control. I protect with Lapras. I wanted to hide it, but at the same time didn't. Aeroblast goes into Groudon. Yikes. So yeah, game one was very unfortunate, but I think I could have bring it back a little slightly if I hadn't proc the weakness policy, knowing that there was a chance. I think the better start was, like I said, probably my the better start, probably 100%, was the Sableye instead of the Groudon with Sunny Day if I wanted to, and then I had Quash 2 if I needed to. Another thing I could have done was, Quash the Raichu, thinking. But I don't know. I just don't think they will have protected in that turn. But anyway, given that what Battle 1 was, it still was really good for information wise. I got to learn a lot about their team, and I think the most I learned about my team was that I could potentially be AB, seeing as how much damage they did to me with Lugia and the Sash on Sableye. So given what I did, I actually think Sar Groundon is not a bad star at all. And we actually don't bring Sableye and Binu. And the reason why we're doing Sar is because if they start like Whimsicott Lugia again, Lugia shouldn't be able to take KO my Sar, and we're just gonna ignore the Lugia. So the whole part of this game is that we're not gonna proc that winner's policy. We're gonna wait until it's tiny, and then because we have Lapras Comfy, we can either TR, or they have to waste a turn letting like killing Comfy while I can like kill them. And then there's a chance they can also proc my weakness policy on my Lapras, but I don't think they can stop Comfy because we have the mental herb too. So if we get out Whimsicott out of the board, is actually pretty good. And I believe they started, so they started Lugia Whimsicott, which is 100% fine with me. This is actually really, really good for me because, like I said, we are actually just gonna ignore the Lugia this whole time. And I know the Blast Burn Max Wildfire is gonna kill. So my biggest regret on game 1, 100% was... Oh, I didn't go for the Vasa. Okay. I don't know if I agree with that play. But I do find out here that it's Copa Berry, and thanks to Sun, we just kill Whimsicott. So they are faster. I didn't expect that. Oh, I actually should look at Lugia's base speed. But yeah, Lugia Dynamaxes is obviously faster than me. I went with Max Airstream, and I think that's very risky. I think going for Max Airstream instead of G-Max Wildfire was risky. But given, like I said, I don't think Lugia had anything to KO me. And if we're gonna battle Max Airstreams, that's fine with me. I'm okay battling Max Airstreams. So they set up Tailwind. They probably didn't know that if I was faster or not, which is actually pretty good because they go for Max Hellstorm. Into Groundon, okay. But again, like I said, this Lugia doesn't hurt that much if she doesn't have it. And then there we go. The Copa Berry is revealed. But we just kill it. So I think like I actually find that very funny that we actually kill, especially because we didn't have the Sun with us. But yeah, we max our stream. They're gonna still be faster, and we didn't proc the weakness policy. That was the whole point of this. We didn't want to proc the weakness policy because I think if we don't do it, we win the game. So Groundon right now is at 22%. And to be honest, I believe I swapped Groundon off because I think having Groundon endgame will be very, very important. And they bring Raichu out. So I'm just going to G-Max Wildfire here. Might or might not kill Raichu. But I wanted to know, like, is this an AV Raichu? Okay, so I come back there. So they both switch instead of... I think this is a misplay. Because I think they bring Kartana out. And Kartana just dies. Is Kartana or Stakataka? I forgot. Yeah, it's Cortana. So I think this is a huge misplay. There was no reason for them to use Max Wild like they did. They max their stream here though, but like I said, no weakness policy on Lugia. Second turn of Dynamax, you're not gonna kill me. You can be the fastest thing in the game, but again, Comfy can TR if I need to, and then this G-Max Wildfire, even if it's not in zone, kills. Except it has Sash, but Wildfire will kill it. So this is very important. I found out that Cortana was the one with the Sash. So the AB was on the Raichu potentially. And this actually almost cost me the game on game 3 for that misplay. But yeah, This is actually probably like GG's. Because unless I get a crit or something, Lugia can KO Charizard. Charizard has done its job. I have Wildfire. I max her stream. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, it could die. I could, like, bring something else. But I'm just going to max foul, making them think that maybe I will potentially, you know, protect and, like, save a turn. But honestly, Charizard can die here. There's really no need to keep Charizard. If I get an attack, I get an attack. But yeah, Raichu either, you know, fakes out my Comfy, or it doesn't. Here's the man games though. It's like, do I max guard, protect my max guard, and then try to trick him? Or do they fake out and ignore me because of that? But honestly, this is actually, regardless, this was huge for me. Because like I said, I didn't care about Sar. So they go for the fake out. And Groudon is still alive. And they go max their stream onto my Charizard. Yeah. And like I said, it was absolutely fine losing Charizard. Because that's the last turn of Lugia max. Groudon probably is going to die next turn. Which, again, is absolutely fine. Because if they don't go kill my Groudon, I get a free Trick Room with Comfy. Because it's really hard for them to actually kill. Without the Dynamax and the Weakness Policy not proc yet, they wouldn't be able to kill Comfy. Comfy is actually pretty thick. This is almost one of those turns where it wouldn't be bad if I actually return Groudon just to keep it, but I just like didn't feel a need to. I didn't want Lapras to be hurt. So here we go. Aeroblast into Comfy, it doesn't do anything. That's a crit. That's a crit. And they go for the Grass Knot. So imagine if I have brought Lapras there and they have like done my Weakness Policy. I understand why they didn't double into my Comfy, but I don't agree with not doubling into my Comfy. Because now, like I said, I have Trick Room up, and they don't have their Weakness Policy yet. I am going to ignore the Lugia, because Lugia has nothing for my Lapras. I can Flora Heal, I can Giga Drain. Like, I can do so many things with Comfy right now. I can even Ally Switch, but I don't want to like do that. So we Giga Drain on the Raichu. And I believe we freeze dry the Raichu. Yeah, because Lugia might protect. And if Lugia doesn't protect, that's also fine. Like I said, Raichu's bigger threat for us. Yeah, they did protect with Lugia. And yeah, there was no reason for me to go for the Lugia, knowing that I knew that they had protect. I could have been a little bit greedy and actually gone for a Weakness Policy proc on myself, but I actually wanted to hide it. But see, the amount of damage that happened made me told me that they were like, they're fake. So they nuzzle me, and I said this was very risky of me, right? Now it's the mind games. Raichu's almost dead, so I didn't really care for Raichu. So because my Weakness Policy was proc though, I could go for Lugia. Because, yeah, Giga Drain kills Raichu, and Lugia is just a free kill right now. Unless I get Para Hacks. And again, this is also risky, right? Me not going for a Floral Healing, but I knew Giga Drain will kill Raichu. And I don't think Lugia could KO my Lapras. But I do get Para Hacks. And I use Aeroblast, okay. Yeah, that's like so little damage. So now all I could do is just, you know, I go for damage instead of healing because I still think it's fine. But imagine if I had gotten Parahax again. Yeah, Flora Healing are having a safer play. And then we go Freeze Dry and we did hit it. They get the para, but they don't get the crit. I don't think the crit will have killed me either. I think they needed at least 2 para hacks on me to beat me. But then at that point, I will have tried doing floral healing. So the para didn't matter that much. It did, yeah. I don't think Lugia could have KO'd my my Lapras and Comfy. Alright, so we're going to game 3. And game 3, I wanted to spice things up. I was like, well, I know Groudon is good for endgame. And I think Binu actually will be really, really good for endgame too. And I forgot if I actually started Sar. Because I felt like Lapras Comfy might have been better. But let's see what I actually ended up doing. Because I actually don't remember what started. I just remember that Vino Ground on the back was clutch. But I do think I went Lapras Comfy. And I think because they saw that I had a T... So this is actually pretty huge. And I don't agree with it. My opponent, like I said, made a bad decision with a swap again with the Raichu. And I think that's what cost them the third game too. Besides me getting lucky with the para hacks, because I'm not para hacks for the flinch hacks. Their bow switch with the Raichu's cost them the Stakataka. So they actually bring Stakataka this turn, given that they saw that I feel very comfortable just TRing. And Stakataka, if I TR, obviously it's gonna be like the strongest one ever. So while I understand why they did that bow switch, I think it was like so risky. Alright, so yeah, they here start Lugia Raichu. Once again, we're gonna ignore the Lugia because I don't want to touch it. If the WP doesn't get procced, it's game over. And then we're gonna have a Bale. The only downside is that I wish I'd like be able to proc my weakness policy. So here I do go for the Trick Room. Mainly because I didn't know if they were gonna have Bull Switch or fake me out. And I think regardless, I knew they couldn't kill my Comfy. Air Blast did so little. The initial damage of it is generally just so little. So yeah, they Dynamax Luigi again. Makes sense. And if they let me set up the Bell, like Comfy's gonna survive. And if they don't survive, it's not the end of the world. But Comfy does survive what they hit, thankfully. And I don't know if it was a low roll. I forgot to do the exact calcs. But it could have there was a chance that it was a small roll. But yeah, this was probably one of my stronger starts. And I only slightly regret not starting my Charizard. Because Charizard actually wouldn't have been bad either. Given that Raichu was the only thing that could kill my Charizard. So Raichu does go for the fake out. That's absolutely fine. Lugia actually goes for a Max Quake this turn. Into Comfy. I don't agree with that. That's not a stab move. But they are increasing their special defense. And that matters. Especially in that Raichu. Because I said, I'm pretty sure it's a Navy Raichu. So this Max Resonant is going to do nothing. This Max Resonant is going to do nothing. So this is why I think a better play from me was probably proc my own weakness policy, anticipating the potential fake out. But it's also kind of scary too, because what if they had like... So here's the thing. Here's where I do a Max Geyser. Because what if they had like just Bull Switch me or proc it, right? It was a 50-50, and I think TR was still the better play. So we go for the... No, we go back to TR, yeah. We go back to TR. And here's where my opponent realized they're gonna not hit my Lugia. So they proc their own weakness policy. And here is where my opponent actually brings Stakataka. And I think this is a bad decision from them. There was no reason for me not to go for a Max Geyser by this turn. Because I wanted the rain. And like... I get that I was gonna try hitting the Trick Room, but I really don't think they should have. Also, they go for the Maxer stream here. Like, you're making your Stakataka faster in Trick Room. Like that, I mean, it's still gonna be the slowest thing, but that Maxer stream like made me very, very confused. But anyway, Staka does die here. I think the crit mattered a little. I think, especially because I didn't have my weakness policy. But I don't know how the Staka is like, performing and stuff. So here, we do get the trick room out, and this is huge because Lugia now is a +1. They can bring Raichu. So they bring Raichu. That means that Cortana is their last Pokemon. And here's the thing. I'm just gonna Max Geyser. Yeah, there's no reason Max Geyser. And then now I know Comfy is gonna die. So Comfy did his job. I gonna get my own weakness policy procced it. Because I didn't know if they were gonna fake me out or anything. And they actually do end up faking me out. And I made enough. I still had enough that it made me survive, which was actually pretty huge. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. That fake out. That Giga drains so much value. So the fact that Comfy gets to survive another turn is actually really, really huge. And now it's 4 versus 2. Unless they went for Comfy again. And no, they went for another Max Quake. And that's fine. That's fine because they're a +2 special defense. But I still have Groundon in the back. Still have Groundon in the bag. And then and here's where I misplay and it almost cost me the game. So they do bring Cortana. We are under Trick Room. I should have Giga Drain. I should have just double into Cortana. And I don't. I actually don't double into Cortana, and that cost me the game. I think Freeze Dry. Yeah, Freeze Dry. And look at that. Like, I don't know why I didn't, double. Like, that Floral Healing was so bad. Like, I should have just Giga Drain Cortana. And this, like I said, almost cost me the game because it was over. It was going to be 4v1, but I misplay. To be quite honest, I also didn't know that Cortana had Detect. But it makes sense you have Detect given the fact that Cortana has Sash. But yeah, I don't know why Floral Heal. Floral Heal was the wrong move. Freeze Dry, like I said, literally almost kills Cortana. If I have Giga Drain, it will have been game over. And then they didn't protect, right? That's Leaf Blade does kill me. Surprisingly enough. Oh, never mind. That crit matter. Okay, so I crit them, they crit me bad, and I'm pretty sure that crit matter. But yeah, I misplay here because now they Aeroblast my Comfy and Comfy dies, obviously. But yeah, that was a huge misplay for me, and it almost cost me the game because we're still in TR. We're still in TR. And then Binu might die to Lugia. 100%. Like, Binu can die to Lugia. I think there's 2 turns of Trick Room. And I get a flinch. So that flinch saves my game after I play so bad. Yeah. And because I still misplay. And I don't know if it's because of nervous games. But, like, I should have just, like, double into the Lugia. And I didn't. Like, for some reason, I just didn't. And I was like, I don't know why I did what I did there. Because Cortana detects here. And I think this is very important. So if I had Weather Ball or something to Lugia instead. Because I thought it might double protect, right? But, like, Lugia was always the play. Like, I should have realized Lugia is the threat. Cortana can do stuff. Cortana detects here, which I think is a very good play. And like I said, this flinch matter. This flinch, after my huge mistake, saves my game. Because, look, that's Weather Ball damage. I could have killed it with Weather Ball. See, Lugia flinch, and I was like, thank God. And I was like, I mean, they can protect Lugia, but Cortana is dead. So, yeah, I like so sad. I am so sad about that. So we do Rock Slide. Rock Slide doesn't miss and kills Cortana. And like I said, now it's a 2v1. And we win. And to be honest, like I said, I misplayed. I did 2v misplays, and RNG was more in my favor. And I learned, I do feel bad, but you know, they also got a crit back on me, and I just got luckier, and that's Pokemon, unfortunately. But yeah, that flinch 100% was the reason why I won the game, given how badly I misplayed by not Giga draining that Cortana on that turn, knowing that it was Sash. But yeah, that's it. We're 1-1, and then I will be fighting probably another Kyogre team next week, guys. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, bye!